So where did we start last week, Guru Shakti Prabhu? Please remind us and take us back to last week.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So we last time we dealt with verse 10. Yeah, verse 10. We were on verse 10, and then it was even finished. At that time, Prabhu, let me see. Yes, Prabhu asked some question, and we were discussing when the course ended.
Who asked question?
Prabhu BDD.
Who asked the question, Prabhu? Who?
Prabhu BDD.
Who is BDD?
Okay. Prabhu. Okay. Yes.
Which Prabhu? Is the Prabhu here now?
Yeah. He's here. Yeah.
That is you're talking about approval.
Yeah, approval. Yes, exactly. Sorry.
Well, yeah, Prabhuji, well, are we able to answer your question last week?
Yes, Prabhuji. I stand in. My question was addressed very nicely. Thank you.
Yeah. So what happened is that we're going to finish chapter 12 today, if possible. But we already spent almost like 20 minutes before now. So let's continue. Because chapter 12 is one of the shortest of the Bhagavad Gita chapters, 12 and 15.
Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
Here Krishna is giving options. He's giving options to us. If you cannot fix your mind on me, engage in regulative process of bhakti. If you cannot engage in regulative practice of bhakti, work for me. If you cannot work for me. So Krishna is giving us option. That is why it's called devotional service. This chapter 12 is titled devotional service. Krishna is giving us various options on how we can engage in devotional service. Krishna is not making it like straight jackets. Okay, you have to serve me like this, and if not, you are condemned. No, Krishna is not that kind of God. Krishna he knows his creature, and is trying to give everybody opportunity to be able to come to him. So he has given so many options here. We just need to find out which option we fit in and properly apply ourselves to it. So in text 11, we continue. Ataitara piyasakto si kartuma yogama shitaha sarva karma falatyagam tata kuruyatatmavan. If, however, you're unable to walk in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. So, as a practicing devotee who want to really inculcate Bhagavad Gita into our life, we have to follow this instruction of Krishna. We look all the options Krishna is giving to us. Which one can we properly apply in our life? Can I fix my mind on Krishna 24 hours? If not, can I work for Krishna? If I cannot work for Krishna, can I work and give up the result to serve Krishna? So we have to find out where we fit in. This is most important for us. It's because we are not reading Bhagavad Gita just because we have to read. We are reading Bhagavad Gita so that we can apply it in our life. Okay. Guru Shakti Prabhu, read the purport.
Hare Krishna. Purport. It may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familiar, or religious considerations, or because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family members or so many other difficulties. For one who has such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifices and special functions of punya, special work in which the result of one's previous action may be applied. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to the state of knowledge. It is also found that when one who is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness gives charity to some hospital or some other social institution, he gives up the hard-earned results of his activities. That is also recommended here because by the practice of giving up the fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually. And in that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind. But if there are impediments to accepting Krishna consciousness, one may try to give up the results of his actions. In that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc., may be accepted so that someday one may come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 18:46, we find it is stated, Yata Pravartir Bhutanam. If one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by the sacrificial method. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. So you can see the purpose. This verse is directly referring, is guiding us on our preaching activities because we are already on the path of Krishna consciousness. So this verse or this purpose is not talking to us. This verse is talking about some highly placed people in the society. Sometimes maybe you come across politicians, you preach to them, or you come across famous people, you preach to them. This is how to encourage them. You don't tell them to stop whatever they are doing. Oh, you should stop eating meat, or you should do this, or you should come and tie dirty like me. No. Yeah, proper. You can see it in the purpose. Proper is saying, yes, gradually by engaging them to use their hard-earned money in promoting or engaging in some social work, then they get purified. Make them to contribute food money for Food for Life, pay money, and so many other activities in promoting Krishna consciousness. Then gradually they get purified. So this is a recommendation from Krishna for those who cannot directly practice devotional service. There are some people there, their situation is, is so difficult for them to come to associate with devotees. So such people, we should encourage them in this way. Support this program, support that program. In that way, gradually, they will become purified and they develop transcendental knowledge. That's what Krishna is saying here. Okay, so in the text 8 to 11, the spiritual result of each recommended practice have been described. By taking up Krishna as is described in text 8, we will always live with Krishna. By following the regulative principle of bhakti, as mentioned in the text 9, we will develop our desire to attain Krishna. By working for Krishna as described in text 10, we will come to the perfect stage. No result, however, has been mentioned for the following the practice Krishna recommended in text 11. So the practice of giving up the fruit of work, unless those fruits are offered to Krishna, is not in and of itself spiritual, and it therefore does not yield spiritual fruits. Okay? So in text 12, however, Krishna places the renunciation of the fruit of one's work for Krishna service, as described in text 10. Not simply the detached work described in text 11, within the perspective of other practices of spiritual advancement. Do we get the point? So in text 11, in text 8, 11, 12, in text 8, 9, 10, 11, Krishna gave the result of what you will achieve. By fixing your mind on Krishna, what you achieve, by working for Krishna, what you achieve, all this he gave. But in this verse we just read now, Krishna did not give any result for, he said, if ever you are unable to work for me, work in this consciousness of me, then try to add giving up the result of your work and try to be self-situated. Okay, so there's no any result given here. For those who just give up the result of their work, like those, like we mentioned, those engaging, proper mentioned in the purport, that those engaging in community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, social service. So there's no, because it's not a direct spiritual activity, so there's no spiritual result mentioned here in text 11. Is that okay? Any comment, question, or contribution? Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question concerning this text and your explanation is this. Like, there was a time it was explained that devotional, somebody who is doing devotional service or doing performing activities, either direct devotional service or like working and bringing his the results to Krishna. It was explained that all such activities without is useless without taking Harinam initiation. So I want to understand what's the usefulness of engaging somebody in this context when actually whatever he's doing somehow was explained that such activities are really not wonderful. So I think you should explain a little bit for us to understand.
Thank you. So the thing that is there is that now, like you mentioned about Harinam initiation, yeah, this one is for somebody who already taking interest in devotional service, who want to practice. Then you can give initiation, then you can do all this you mentioned. But yeah, Krishna is talking about those who don't even have attraction for spiritual activities. So somehow or the other, we have to encourage them to practice spirituality by, engaging their money in, feeding the poor, like we do Food for Life. There's so many people, they don't believe in religion. There are so many people in this world today. They don't believe in religion because they believe that religion has done more bad than good. Has created division, war, and all this. So they don't believe in religion, but they believe in doing good work. They believe in, where's the poor people? Okay, well, let me give money to feed them. Oh, where is the homeless people? Okay, let me give some money to help them. They believe in doing good. They don't believe in religion. They believe that religion creates division. Okay, so, but yeah, we're talking about spirituality, which is Krishna consciousness. So, for those kind of people, who are, they want to be pious, but they don't want to be religious. They don't want to be spiritual. So you can just encourage them, okay, it's all right. Whatever you are doing, just give some donation for feeding the poor. Just give some donation for helping the homeless or paying some people's hospital bills. So they are very happy to do all this kind of work. They're very, very happy. So in that way, Krishna says in that part, gradually they can, for proper mention the purpose, that they will become purified, their mind will become purified. Because actually, you see, you can ask yourself in Nigeria or in Ghana or wherever, people have so much money, but they don't want to make others to become rich, except if there's some motive. Before somebody can say, okay, I want to make you rich, there must be some motive. They will just give you some little money to just for you to eat for one day. If they have them for money, they will not want to, because they value their hand-earned money. They don't want to give it. There must be a reason why they should give you the money. So that hard-earned money, if they use it for some spiritual activities, they get benefit. They get purified. That is because their consciousness is very connected to that their money. So by giving it for a selfless activity, they get purified. So they are, like Krishna Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, they become gradually purified. So on the Harinam, getting Harinam initiation and engaging in devotion service is for someone who is interested in spirituality. But this is people who believe in just national, all these just ordinary social activities, not spiritual activity. So they will get some, according to Prabhupada in the purport. Let me just read. Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. Let's read it again. For one who has such, let me read from the beginning. He said, it may be that one is unable to even sympathize with the activity of Krishna consciousness. The Prabhupada is saying that some people, they cannot even sympathize with the activity of Krishna consciousness, of social, familiar or religious consideration, due to their social, familiar or religious consideration, or because of some other impediment. If one attaches himself directly to the activity of Krishna, there may be objection from their family member. A problem. It is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activity to do good cause. Such procedure are described in the Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of the sacrifice and special function for the full moon, day, and there is special work in which the result of one previous work may be applied. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to the state of knowledge. It is also found that when one is not even interested in activity of Krishna consciousness, give charity to some hospital or some other social institution, he give up the end result of his activity. That is also recommended here, because by practice of giving up the fruit of one's activity, one is sure to purify his mind gradually. And in that purified state of mind, one become able to understand Krishna consciousness. So it's a gradual elevation of the consciousness, like properly explained in the purport. So this kind of people, they're not interested in, due to some impediment, social impediment or whatever impediment, they cannot directly practice Krishna because they're talking less of taking initiation or harinam or whatever. So gradually, just by engaging them in the service in this way, making them to contribute for some social activity or some charitable activity, they get purified and they can gradually try to get to understand Krishna consciousness, like Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. Is that okay, Prabhu? Are you there? Let's continue. So we continue to the next verse, verse 12. So here Krishna is describing Shreyohi Jnana Mahabhyasa Jnana Dhyana Vishishyate Jnana Karma Phalasya Gatya Gachate Anantaram. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. And better than meditation is the realization of fruits of action. But by such realization, one can attain peace of mind. Okay? If you cannot engage, if you cannot take to this process, this practice, even of giving up the result of your activity, and Krishna is recommending here, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of fruit of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. So Krishna has recommended 3 processes here. One is cultivation of knowledge, the other one is meditation, and the other one is renunciation of fruit of action. The highest is the renunciation of fruit of action. But even if you cannot renounce the fruit of your action, try to meditate. And if you cannot meditate, then try to cultivate knowledge. Very, very important. Krishna is giving the here in the purport. Purpose in the purport. Approval Prabhu, you can read. You read the purport.
Hare Krishna. Purport. As mentioned in the previous verses, there are 2 kinds of devotees, devotional service. The way of regulative principles and the way of full attachment in love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For those who are actually not able to follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, it's better to cultivate knowledge, because by knowledge one can be able to understand his real position. Gradually, knowledge will develop to the point of meditation. By meditation, one can be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by a gradual process. There are processes which make one understand that.
In the cultivation of knowledge, you jump that one.
The cultivation of knowledge.
It's not there. In the cultivation of knowledge is not there.
No, it's what I have here is gradually knowledge will develop to the point of meditation.
Okay.
By meditation, one can be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by a gradual process. There are processes which make one understand that one himself is a supreme, and that sort of meditation is preferred if one is unable to engage in devotional service. If one is not able to meditate in such a way, then there are prescribed duties as enjoined in the Vedic literature for the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, which we shall find in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But in all cases, one should give up the results or fruits of labor. This means to employ the results of karma for some good cause. In summary, to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the highest goal, there are 2 processes. One process is by gradual development, and the other process is direct. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the direct method, and the other method involves renouncing the fruits of one's activities. Then one can come to the stage of knowledge, then the stage of meditation, then the stage of understanding the super soul, and then the stage of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One may take either the step-by-step process or the direct path. The direct process is not possible for everyone. Therefore, the indirect process is also good. It is, however, to be understood that the indirect process is not recommended for Arjuna, because he is already at the stage of loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. It is for others who are not at this stage. For them, the gradual process of renunciation, knowledge, meditation, and realization of the Super Soul and Brahman should be followed. But as far as the Bhagavad Gita is concerned, it is the direct method that is stressed. Everyone is advised to take to the direct method and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very much, Prabhu. So Prabhupada mentioned here, then one can come to the stage of knowledge, not that place. He said, the direct process is not possible for everyone. So in the beginning of this, in test 8, Krishna gave the direct process. Fix your mind on me. That is the direct process. Just fix your mind on me. And also cultivate the regulative principle of bhakti. That is the direct process. But yeah, Prabhupada said the direct process is not possible for everyone. Therefore, the indirect process is also good. Actually, this is for our preaching application. That when we are preaching to everyone, we should not think that everybody is going to accept Krishna consciousness directly. And that is why you see somebody like Ganesh Prabhu looking successful in terms of the ways he has been doing his preaching for years now. Because he was using the indirect process to attract people to Krishna. And now he has so many people who are becoming initiated and coming to devotional service because of the indirect process. Because not everybody are going to be attracted by direct process. You know, some people just, they are attracted to paraphernalia. Some people are attracted to philosophy, the cultivation of knowledge. Some people, they are attracted to so many things in Krishna consciousness. So we have to be able to be very expert in a way that we can attract people based on their level of Krishna consciousness. And in that way, gradually we can bring people to devotional service step by step, because everybody is not going to take to that direct process. Everybody is not going to take to direct process. So those who cannot take to direct process, we should know how to tell them, cultivate knowledge. Just read this book. Read this book, you will love it. Even if it's not becoming devotee today, don't worry yourself. Don't push it. Just continue to give him the book. Let him continue to read. When he finishes that one, give him another one. Then like that, let him be cultivating knowledge. By cultivating knowledge, he will get purified. Then gradually you can encourage him to start giving the result of his work. And like that, in that way, people get purified and they can gradually come to Krishna consciousness. But for us, this indirect process is not recommended for us because we're already in the Krishna consciousness. So we should not think about that. Okay? We should just continue on the path we are already in. We should not think, oh, Krishna give this option, I have to go back. Then you are falling down. We should just continue with the direct process like that. Okay. So I will just read here some commentary. If you cannot take to this practice, refer to the practice of Nishkama Karma Yoga. So Krishna is referring to describe in text 10. Knowledge here refer to Brahma Gyan. So knowledge of the soul as different from the body, and the meditation suggests realization of the super soul through yoga. So the progression is described by Srila Rupa Goswami in translation and purport as follows. Text 8. Perfected devotional service, always remember Krishna. Okay. Text 9. Devotional service in practice, performing sadhana bhakti. That is what Krishna has mentioned in text 9. Okay. And work for Krishna as Krishna desire in the temple atmosphere. That is text 9. Most of us are going to follow that. Then text 10. Krishna was mentioning Nishkama Karma Yoga, working with detachment and offering the results of our work to Krishna. That is text 10. Krishna described that in text 10. Then text 11. Krishna is detached work, working with detachment, but without offering the fruit of our work to Krishna. We just use it for social activities and whatever. That is text 11. Krishna, that is what Krishna is talking about there. Okay. Then text 12. Nishkama Karma Yoga will result in peace, or as described in the peace formula. So back to the following stage, which are lower than the Nishkama Karma Yoga stage, are also mentioned in this verse. So yoga and the lower stage mentioned, cultivating knowledge, Brahma Gyan, still lower than Brahma Gyan, and without a direct transcendental result is the method mentioned in the text 11. Detached work without offering this fruit to Krishna. So thus, Krishna has delineated the progressive graduation of spiritual processes and advancement. So Srila Prabhupada has also explained this stage in his purports. Okay, I've already read that. So I will read. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan delineated the level of bhakti described by Krishna in verse 8 to 11 in a different manner. So let us listen to that, Baladev Vidyabhushan. So our mind is naturally fixed on Krishna. Therefore, we easily attain Krishna. Text 9. Although the mind does not always remember Krishna naturally, we practice again and again to fix our mind on Krishna. Later, with our mind family fixed on Krishna, we easily attain Krishna. That is test 9, according to Bhagavad Gita. It's explaining. So test 10 is explaining, if we are unable to endeavor in the specific practice of fixing the mind on Krishna, we should work for Krishna. What work should we do? We should engage in fully surrender activity, perform in the mood of menial service to Krishna, and meant directly for the displeasure. This description corresponds to the appropriate mode and duties that are required of those who live in the temples. Example of such service are building temples, cleaning the temple, making temple gallant, performing the activity for the Krishna satisfaction. We become attached to the deities and to his glories. On this level of progress, the work we perform is surrender and according to Krishna direct desire. So it is therefore different from Nishkama Dharma Yoga, when we work as we want and then offer the fruit of that work to Krishna. Okay? So the above work, as described by Krishna, is fully surrender and is thus considered to be level of bhakti. That is, okay. Then text 11, those who are unable to work as Krishna one should renounce the fruit of their activity and worship Krishna through their work. This precursor is to actual devotional service. Nishkama Karma Yoga gradually lifts us to the platform of bhakti. Okay? Then in text 12, if you cannot take to this practice, refer to the practice of renunciation of fruits of one's work mentioned in the text 11. Although Krishna won devotion in this verse, it glorifies and emphasizes karma. So in the final verse in this chapter, Krishna again comes to the point of pure devotional service. He described 35 transcendental qualities possessed by his pure devotee that make those devotees dear to him. So we stay tuned to that, okay? So, any comment, questions so far? So, for those, yes, Gora Shakti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Okay, what I would like to say is that by studying the Vedas and following Bhakti Shastri courses and all advanced stages, okay, can we say that we want to use this, or we want to practice this knowledge in order to contribute to that devotional service, but in indirect way, by preaching the philosophy in order to make people then come to Krishna consciousness?
Yes, it's the direct one. Is it number 2? The second one, the Krishna recommended, because you are working based on the recommendation of Krishna and his pure devotee Srila Prabhupada.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
So by doing this, we should desire this. We should have a desire to attain Krishna. That is what Krishna mentioned in text 9. When you are following the regulative principle of bhakti, as enjoined by the scripture and the acharyas, then you should have a desire to attain Krishna. Because one thing about the devotional or following the regulative process of bhakti is that if we are doing it and we don't desire to attain Krishna, we may not attain Krishna. When we have seen many devotees, they're on this path for many years, but their desire is completely different because it can open people's mind. You don't know what is going on in their mind. You know, people just come around, they jump around, but they have different desire from attaining Krishna. They have their own motives why they are on this part of devotional service. You can never tell. You know, some people are just around just because, you know, there's nowhere to go or they want to take some shelter for some time. And once they are okay, they leave. Some people, they are around because they want to position and adoration or fame, or so that they can take advantage of whatever is available in the movement. So desire to attain Krishna while practicing devotional service is very, very important. It means that whatever we are doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. It's very important. So by doing what you just mentioned now, means that we are following the second principle that Krishna gave in text 9, that you should engage in regulative practice of devotional service. and desire to attain me. We must desire to attain Krishna. Very important. We should keep this in mind. Okay?
Yes, okay, Prabhuji. Then when we have mastered, I mean the scriptures, so we can in a way or other contribute to making people come indirectly to Krishna consciousness. So, yes.
It's
By
very
preaching,
important.
by preaching the
consciousness.
philosophy.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the ultimate goal. That is why we are studying the scripture, so that we can understand it ourselves and share with others. Even Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, in the text, some of the texts, text 33, 34, 35, like that, that one should not disturb these people from whatever they are doing. But Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, as a devotee of Krishna, the Krishna will not, devotee is more kind than Krishna. So even though Krishna said we should not disturb these people from whatever they are doing, devotees still go out to disturb them, to preach. That's Prabhupada mentioned that in, I think it's in text maybe 30 or 29 of chapter 3. So, but the devotees, they still go out to preach. And Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that the devotees are more kind than Krishna. Because Krishna said, you should not disturb these people who cannot directly, be part of devotional service, who are engaged in material activities, who are in the mode of ignorance. They don't want to surrender to Krishna. Krishna said we should not disturb them, we should not bother them because of the lack of intelligence. But Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that devotees go their extra way, take risk of approaching these people. Sometimes you may even get punched on your face or get slapped. Or sometimes they try to make you feel bad by ignoring you. So devotees have to tolerate all this kind of different situation just to go and give Krishna consciousness to others. So that is the gopis who are the topmost devotee of Krishna. They say such devotees who are taking this kind of, austerity, sacrifice to share the knowledge, they are the most munificent one in the whole three world. They are the most glorious person in this three world. So to take the initiative, to take the, to tolerate all the different embarrassments, whatever situation in there to preach to the fallen soul and still going out to preach, you are the very special, you become very special to Krishna very fast. So that is the purpose of studying the scripture, so that we can share with others. Okay? Because when you don't share it, you cannot keep it. Only what you share that you can keep. When you are reading and you are not sharing it, you are not going to preach it, and you are not sharing it with others, you forget very easily.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Jai. So let's continue. Okay, so let's read, continue to text 13. So yeah, it's Krishna now start describing the different qualities of the body that endear them to him. And this quality Krishna is mentioning them is not just because we have to read them. We should take notes. We have to practice this quality in our life. We have to endeavor to practice these qualities in our life. Very, very important. We're not just read them because we feel nice, we feel good just by hearing them. No, we have to practice them. Adveshta sarvabhuta namaitra karuna eva cha nirmamonira hankara samadoka suka chami. Satusa satatam yogi tatmani ranisya mayar pitamano bodhi yar bhaktam same priyaha. Krishna says, one who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entity, who does not think himself a proprietor, is free from false ego, who is equal to both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-control, and engaged in devotional service with determination. His mind and intelligence feeds on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So if you want to be dear to Krishna, Krishna is giving us the formula, the qualities we need to possess. I want to be dear to Krishna, very simple. Try to inculcate all these things in your life. One who is not envious, but a kind friend to all living entities. Give up envy. We try to give up envy. We should not be envious of anyone. One who does not think himself a proprietor, we should give up false ego. We should be equal in happiness and distress. We attain something good, Hare Krishna. We get something bad, Hare Krishna. We should not be always the same, equal pose. We should be tolerant, because there's going to be so many temptation and disturbance from other devotees, from the weather, so many things, and mystery from our mind. We should learn to be tolerant all these different situations. Very important. Always satisfy self-control. We should be self-control. Engage in devotional service with determination. Very, very important. Why must we engage in devotional service with determination? Because we are in material world. And everything in this material world is against devotion to Krishna. Everything in the material world here is to remind us about sense enjoyment, how to gratify our senses. All the advertisement made is for us to gratify our senses, to do what we want to do without no restriction. That is what we get here. I always remember this past time with one of my friends, Indian man, when I was working in Nigeria. So we used to go for sales together. So I will be trying to preach to him when we are going around. He said, Kavi, wait. See, how many people go into the kingdom of God? Very few. You can count them. But how many people go into hell? See, all of them, plenty. So we're going to have big party in hell. So why you worry yourself? Don't worry yourself. So these are the people so people are thinking like this, that, everybody's committing this sin. So let me continue to commit sin also. Okay. So that is why it's very important for us to engage in devotional service with determination, because there's going to be so many temptations why we should give up. Don't give up. Krishna mentioned his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So if you want to be dear to Krishna, highlight all these qualities here, write them down, and start one by one picking them and practicing them in your life. Take them one by one. Tolerance. How do I practice tolerance? Sometimes they will speak insultive words to you. They will say so many things. Keep quiet. Just shut up. Chant Hare Krishna in your mind. Okay? In that way, we can be. Sometimes somebody give you something good, do somebody good for you. Appreciate them normally. Chant Hare Krishna in your mind. Don't be too elated. Somebody do something bad to you, treat you bad, make you to feel distress. Chant Hare Krishna in your mind. Give everything to Krishna. So we should practice all this quality here. So let's go through Prabhupada's purport. Somebody want to read? Who has not read here? Yamasami, are you there or you are somewhere else? Read. Jama.
Krishna Prabhu.
Krishna Priya, who is that?
It's the second Janmashtami.
Your name is Krishna Priya now?
Yes, my name is, it's always that there's Krishna Priya has been there since.
Okay. I don't know your new name now. It's now I'm beginning to see. So now you see you are Krishna Priya now. We will not call you Jamasami now again. So we only have one Jamasami now in Nigeria. So Jamasami.
All right.
Devi, read. Krishna Priya will take your turn later. Jamasami is not there. Why are you wasting time? Now Krishna Priya, read.
All right.
That's why I always encourage devotees to on their camera. That's why I always say devotees to encourage their camera. Jamasami, your name is here, but you are not following. You are not reading. Krishna Priya, continue, please.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Coming again to the point of pure devotional service, the Lord is describing the transcendental qualifications of a pure devotee in these two verses. A pure devotee is never disturbed in any circumstances, nor is he envious of anyone, nor does a devotee become his enemy's enemy. He thinks this person is acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds. So it is better to suffer than to protest. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-8, it is stated, tate nukampam su samiksha mano bunjana evatma kritam nipakam. Whenever a devotee is in distress or has fallen into difficulty, he thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. He thinks, thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far greater than I am suffering now. So it is by the grace of the Supreme Lord that I am not getting all the punishment I am due. I am just getting a little by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is always calm, quiet, and patient. Despite many distressful conditions, a devotee is always kind to everyone, even to his enemy. Nirimana means that a devotee does not attach much importance to the pains and trouble pertaining to the body because he knows perfectly well that he is not the material body. He does not identify with the body. Therefore, he is free from the conception of false ego and is equiposed in happiness and distress. He is tolerant and he is satisfied with whatever comes by the grace of the Supreme Lord. He does not endeavor much to achieve something with great difficulty. Therefore, he is always joyful. He is a completely perfect mystic because he is fixed in the instructions received from the spiritual master. And because his senses are controlled, he is determined. He is not swayed by false arguments because no one can lead him from the fixed determination of devotional service. He is fully conscious that Krishna is the eternal Lord, so no one can disturb him. All these qualifications enable him to fix his mind and intelligence entirely to the Supreme Lord. Such a standard of devotional service is undoubtedly very rare, but the devotee becomes situated in the stage by following the regulative principles of devotional service. Furthermore, the Lord says that such a devotee is very dear to him, for the Lord is always pleased with all his activities in full Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
So these are the qualities we have to develop on our part of devotional service so that we can become dear to Krishna. When we develop these great qualities, these are the pure devotees' qualities. We become dear to Krishna. Very, very important. We can see how Prabhupada explained in the purport, both good and bad, how to tolerate good and bad. Very important. These last 8 tests describe the internal symptom of one engaged in pure devotional service. The term advaita, non-envious, can be exemplified when the devotee thinks towards an enemy. Krishna has actioned this to a person, hate me. So when somebody is your enemy, you have to think that in your past life, you might have done something that makes the person to want to hate you. So you don't become enemies of your enemy. And so he's taking you as enemy, but you should not see the person as your enemy. You should see that you are paying your karma. This is a very, very high level of consciousness. So, but we have to cultivate it. There's nothing we can do because that is the really want to become pure devotee. This consciousness we must develop. Okay. So let's continue and read more of those wonderful qualities. From now till we reach the end, we're going to be reading more of those kind of qualities, which we are going to work on in our spiritual parts. So we are going to do some exercise if time permits, or we do the exercise tomorrow to end the class. Asmanoju jate loko lokale de jate chayaha asha marsha bayo de gai mo to such a priya. Even who no one is put into difficulty, who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equiposed in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety is very dear to me. Krishna again repeated another quality here. Equiposed in happiness and distress, because this material world is full of distress. Sometimes we become happy. So again, Krishna is repeating it here. We have to be equiposed in happiness and distress. Very, very important if you want to make the advancement in spiritual life. There's no alternative to this. You have to learn how to be equiposed in happiness and distress. Very important. Okay, so someone read. Who is here and who has not read? Babananda, are you there? Read.
Krishna.
Yeah. Go ahead, read.
Papa, I'm coming. A few devoted qualifications are further beginning described. No one is put into difficulty, anxiety, fearfulness, and dissatisfaction by such a devotee. Since a devotee is kind to everyone, he does not act in such a way as to put others into anxiety. At the same time, if others try to put a devotee into anxiety, he is not disturbed. It is by the grace of the Lord that he is so practiced that he is not disturbed by any outward disturbance. Actually, because of a devotee is always engrossed in Krishna consciousness and engaged in devotional service, such material circumstance cannot move him. Generally, a materialistic person becomes very happy when there is something for his sense gratification and his body, but when he see that others have something for their sense gratification and he hasn't, he is sorry and envious. When he is expecting some retaliation from an enemy, he is in a state of fear, and when he cannot successfully actually, sometimes he becomes detected. A devotee who is always transcendental to all these disturbances is very dear to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
This is how to become dear to Krishna, by developing these good qualities. Prabhupada is writing again and again, what is the consciousness, what the devotee is thinking in his mind. Okay, Prabhupada mentioned there very nicely in the purport. It is by the grace of the Lord that he is so practiced that he's not disturbed by the outward disturbance. Sometimes people want to put devotee into difficulties. I remember those days when we were in the temple. There's what devotee used to talk about, calculated anxiety. As some devotee, they give you calculated anxiety. This is a plan for you to be in anxiety. Either you're a temple commander or temple president. You know, they plan to put you in anxiety. They know that this is what they're supposed to do. They will not do it. They want you to be in anxiety and start running after them. So in that way, you'll be, they put you into difficulties like that, you know? So in that, so this thing happened. But one who is on this kind of level of consciousness is not disturbed. Proper mention there. Nobody can put into difficulties, you know, because he knows that it's not the controller. It's not envious of anyone. But you know, Krishna is the supreme controller. So these qualities are very, very important for us to think about them and try to inculcate them in our life. We should practically practice them. It's very, very important. I will give an example later. How even myself, I'm trying to practice some of them. So he says, Anna pictures, is it share? No, it's not share. Let me share this screen. Anapeksha udas, anapeksha sushi daksha udasino gata vyataha sarvaramba parityagi yoma bhakta same priyaha. My devotees who is not dependent on ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some results, is very dear to me. I repeat, my devotee who is not dependent on ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. Okay, money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle to acquire it. Okay, it's very, very important point. We should take notes. Money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle to acquire it. If automatically, by the grace of the Supreme money comes to him, he's not agitated. Naturally, a devotee takes a bath at least twice in a day and rise early in the morning for devotional service. Thus, it's naturally clean both inward and outward. A devotee is always expert because he fully knows the essence of all activities of life and is convinced of the authoritative scriptures. Okay, so a devotee never takes the part of a particular party. Therefore, he is carefree. He is never pained because he is free from all designation. Okay, very important. Because he is free from all designation, he is never pained. He knows that his body is a designation. So if there are some bodily pain, he's free. The pure devotee does not endeavor for anything, which is again the principle of devotional service. For example, constructing a big building requires great energy, and a devotee does not take such business if it does not benefit him by advancing his devotional service. He may construct a temple for the Lord, and for that, he may take all kinds of anxiety, but he does not construct a big house for his own personality. We can see this in the life of Srila Prabhupada. When Prabhupada was constructing the Jew temple, he happens to buy the land from a Mr. Hen, who was known for his cheating propensity, always cheating people. He would sell land for this person, and he would try to collect the land and send to another person. But he tried that with Prabhupada. He met his end. He was always giving Prabhupada anxiety. Prabhupada was always thinking of Mr. Hen. Krishna, Krishna took him away. So devotee, Krishna, you cannot disturb the devotee's heart. If you disturb the devotee's heart, you are endangering your life, because Krishna thinks of nothing but the devotee. So when you disturb the devotee, you are just disturbing Krishna's heart. So we have to take note of this. It's very, very important. So yeah, let me say, surrender to me. Okay, let's continue reading. Any comment or contribution? Krishna is just describing the quality of the pure devotees here. So we have to imbibe them into our life. Yona Rishati na Dishti no na Sushati na Kanshati Shubha Parityagi Bhakti Maya Papsame Priyaha. One who neither rejoices nor grief, nor neither laments nor desire, nor renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me. Let's read Prabhupada's purpose. Somebody want to read? Let me see who is there.
A pure.
Yes. Lila Suka read. Jamasami will come after.
A pure devotee is neither nor distressed over material and loss, nor is he very much anxious to get a son or disciple, nor is he distressed by not getting them. If he loses anything which is very dear to him, he does not lament. Similarly, if he does not get what he desires, he is not distressed. He is transcendental in the face of all kinds of auspicious, inauspicious, and sinful activities. He is prepared to accept all kinds of risks for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Nothing is an impediment in the discharge of his devotional service. Such a devotee is very dear to Krishna.
Thank you very much. So we can see, if you want to be dear to Krishna, this quality, we have to cultivate them in our spiritual life. There's nothing we can do. We have to cultivate them. Means you think about them, you practice to cultivate them, then gradually you can have this quality. It's not just by reading them, then we do nothing about it. We cultivate them. How do we cultivate them? Properly is mentioning the purport. Okay, it never happen or not descend over material gain or loss. So whenever you gain something material, be okay. Don't be too much happy. Be okay. Thank you, Krishna, for giving me this gain. Whenever you get something material, you like that. When it's lost, Krishna, thank you. I don't know what will have happened. By your mercy, thank you. Like that. So this is how to develop this kind of consciousness by practicing this sin mentioned in the purport. Okay? He's not in distress, nor is he in distress. If he loses anything which is very dear to him, he does not lament. Does not lament doesn't mean that you become stone cold heart. No. You know, does not lament means you don't allow the lamentation to overtake your intelligence that you forget to chant your rounds, to read about Krishna, to hear about Krishna. Okay, so if he does not get his desire, it's not distress. Okay, it's not distress means, you know, when we're talking about becoming distressed means you become so distressful that you forget chanting. Chanting become very heavy for you. Carry your bead become like carrying every rock in your hand. You know, you don't want to chant because you did not get your desire fulfilled. So these are the things we have to practice. Okay, whatever happens to us, we chant. Thank Krishna for whatever happens. And we move on. This is how to cultivate these desires. This is how to cultivate this. Answer your question. That's your question, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Okay, I will say, based on this verse, that some people, when one of their parents die, they start crying, lamenting, and then agitating in the face of a lot of people. Okay, can we say that this is contrary to this verse? Hare Krishna.
Are you giving comments or you are contributing? Or
okay, it is. It is to ask you whether this agitation and crying and all that, is it in line with this verse we have just read? Is it not contrary to the verse we have just read, which is the question about it?
Are you hearing me?
No, Prabhu.
Can you hear me now?
The sound is not clear. I can't hear you well. Maybe I have a network.
Are you hearing me? If you're hearing me, just unmute yourself and say yes.
I'm hearing you loud and
your voice is cracking a little bit.
Okay.
I'm hearing you.
Okay, those other people are hearing me. Those who my voice is cracking means your network is not good. You should change your position. Okay. So let's continue.
Okay.
So what they're saying here is that see, when your parents or somebody dies, that does not mean that you should become like stone-hearted. And here we will say in Tagalog, we say bosompacto. Yeah, they will say bosompacto. Your soul become stone-hearted. You know, it's not like that. You know, you can show lamentation, but the lamentation should not disturb you so much that you cannot chant your rounds. That is what we are saying here. You cannot practice your devotional service. You are not reading about Krishna. You know, it's like, then you cannot carry your beads and chant. You cannot hear about Krishna. Then you become material. Okay, your spiritual master, it is mentioned that if your spiritual master leave the body, you should cry. But that kind of lamentation is spiritual because it doesn't mean that you should not chant your round the following day. Just lamenting, just sleeping all day, not doing anything. When you should go and see when people are lamenting. They don't do anything all day. They just inside, lying on the bed, rolling on the bed, just standing up to eat and go and lie down back. Because they are lamenting. That is in the mode of ignorance. So that is not what Krishna is saying here. It means it should not stop you from engaging your devotional service. We should not say, okay, because Krishna said we should not lament for others. So somebody die, everybody is showing some concern, and instead of you to show some concern, you start preaching philosophy to them. Why are you people crying? Shut up your mouth. You know, it's not the body, it's the soul. No, that is too heavy. Okay. You should encourage them, but they should not disturb you from engaging your devotional service. Okay? That is what it means.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Another contribution, comments, or question? Then if not, we'll continue so that we can finish today. Chapter 12. We have, we remember those days. Let me just give this before I continue. Those days, the devotee were like this, following this, they were following these verses very strongly. Like, if a devotee mother die or father, they'll say, oh, Prabhuji, you are not the body. Let the dead bury the dead. Why are you worried so much? Prabhu, come here and chant Hare Krishna. And that devotee will just sit down chanting Hare Krishna. What are these people? They don't even care about others. No. Then they will carry the beat for a few weeks. After some months, he will just leave. It's these people that don't care about somebody. My parents died. They see what they are saying. You know, these are that. So they don't seek some care and love from you. You know, because we are human beings, we have feeling, we have emotions. Okay, we are not stone. So sometimes we should have to experience this kind of emotion, but we should not be carried away by them. That is what Krishna is saying. They should not bother us so much that we cannot chant our rounds. We are just sleeping all day, eating and sleeping and doing nothing. You cannot chant. You cannot hear about Krishna. You cannot speak about Krishna. So that is then you are affected. In that way, you will not make advancement in spiritual life. Okay, text 18 to 19. So we almost finished chapter 12. Samashastro cha metre cha tata mana pamana yo sitosna sukadu keshu samasanga vivajita tuyaninda sute maune santoshto yenake nachit aneke tasira mate bhaktima me priyo naraha. One who is equal to friend, and then this one now is the peak of them all. Krishna is saying here, if you want to be dear to me, you have to be equal to friend and enemies. Friends and enemies. Who is equiposed in honor and dishonor? Can we do this? Eat and cold. Again, Krishna is repeating again. Happiness and distress. Fame and infamy. Who is always free from contaminating association. Always silent and satisfied with anything. Who does not care for any residence. Who is fixed in knowledge. Who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. You want to be dear to Krishna? These are the qualities you have to inculcate in your life. You have to practice them, whether you like it or not. Okay, that is this. If you want to be dear to Krishna, you have to practice all these qualities. Somebody want to read? Yamasami there? Yeah, Prabhu.
Yes, I Krishna Prabhu, but anyone can read because it's quite noisy here. So.
Oh yeah, now Prabhu read.
Okay.
Yes.
A devotee is always free from all bad association. Sometimes one is praised, and sometimes one is that of human society. But a devotee is always transcendental to artificial fame and infamy, distress or happiness. He is very patient. He does not speak of anything but the topics about Krishna. Therefore, he is called silent. Silent does not mean that one should not speak. Silent means that one should not speak nonsense. One should speak only of essentials, and the most essential speech for the devotee is to speak for the sake of the Supreme Lord. A devotee is happy in all conditions. Sometimes he may get very palatable foodstuffs, sometimes not, but he is satisfied. Nor does he care for any residential facility. He may sometimes live underneath a tree, and he may sometimes live in a very palatial building. He is attracted to neither. He is called fixed because he is fixed in his determination and knowledge. We may find some repetition in these descriptions of the qualifications of a devotee, but this is just to emphasize the fact that a devotee must acquire all these qualifications. Without good qualifications, one cannot be a pure devotee. One who is not a devotee has no good qualification. One who wants to be recognized as a devotee should develop the good qualifications. Of course, he does not extraneously endeavor to acquire these qualifications, but engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service automatically helps him develop them. Hare Krishna.
We can say, properly say that as a devotee, we must have this qualification. There's no doubt about that. But towards the end, and then he pointed out also that we don't need to make a strenuous endeavor. Just by seriously engaging in pure devotion, engaging in devotional service, we can develop these qualities. So it means that we have seen devotees for many years. They have been chanting Hare Krishna mantra. They have been talking. They've been reading about. Sometimes they read about Krishna, or whatever. Sometimes they don't read, whatever. But we see that their behavior has not changed. They're still behaving the way we know them 20 years ago, 30 years ago. They're not changing. They're not developing divine qualities. They still take revenge when you offend them. They will not forgive you when you offend them. You know, all these things we still see in them. We're not seeing some transcendental qualities coming out. Why? Because they are not engaging in attentive devotional service. Because when you engage in attentive devotional service, like Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, you don't need to make any extraneous endeavor to develop this good quality. Naturally, they will come. Because why? You are attentive in Krishna consciousness. Then all these wonderful qualities will naturally come to you. That is the point. So here it is mentioned, Yasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akechana. According to manifest the assorted quality of the demigods from the body and the mind and the material world. Yet they are more in relation to bhakti than those previously discussed in chapter 2, or the quality discussed in the next chapter, which described as accomplished jnana. So these qualities are very, very important for the bodies to develop, because unless we develop good qualities, how do you know a devotee of Krishna or pure devotee is by these qualities? Just like, how do you know that there is a sugar? It's by the quality of sweetness. How do you know that this is salt? You taste it, you know it's salt. If you just see different kind of white substances, you cannot know whether it's salt or sugar or cocaine or whatever. You have to know by the taste. So by the quality, sugar, that is how you know that this is sugar. So similarly also, we can only know who is pure devotee by the devotional qualities that the person displays. So it's very, very important. Then let's read the final verse, and then we can summarize, and we can ask more questions if you want, if you have, and call it a day. the final. So yeah, Krishna says, Ye tu dharma mritam idam yato tampa yupashate shadadana mat paramam bhaktaste tiva me priyaha. Those who follow this imperishable part of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Okay. Purport. Somebody want to read?
Hare Krishna.
Simin Govida, you have not read today. Ananga Mohini. Jai. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Please go ahead, Guru Shakti Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Purport.
Yeah.
In this chapter, from verse 2 through the end, from Mayi Abeshya Manoye Mam, fixing the mind on me, through Ye to Dharmamritam Idam, this religion of eternal engagement. The Supreme Lord has explained the processes of transcendental service for approaching Him. Such processes are very dear to the Lord, and He accepts a person engaged in them. The question of who is better, one who is engaged in the path of impersonal Brahma, or one who is engaged in the personal service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was raised by Arjuna. And the Lord replied to him so explicitly that there is no doubt that devotional service to the personality of Godhead is the best of all processes of spiritual realization. In other words, in this chapter, it is decided that through good association, one develops attachment for pure devotional service and thereby accepts a bona fide spiritual master, and from him begins to hear and chant and observe the regulative principles of devotional service with faith, attachment, and devotion, and thus becomes engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. This path is recommended in this chapter. Therefore, there is no doubt that devotional service is the only absolute path for self-realization, for the attainment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I repeat there, for the attainment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The impersonal conception of the Supreme Absolute Truth, as described in this chapter, is recommended only up to the time one surrenders himself for self-realization. In other words, as long as one does not have the chance to associate with a pure devotee, the impersonal conception may be beneficial. In the impersonal conception of the Absolute Truth, one works without fruitive results, meditates, and cultivates knowledge to understand spirit and matter. This is necessary as long as one is not in the association of a pure devotee. Fortunately, if one develops directly a desire to engage in Krishna consciousness in pure devotional service, it does not need to undergo step-by-step improvements in spiritual realization. Devotional service, as described in the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, is more congenial. One need not bother about materials to keep body and soul together, because by the grace of the Lord, everything is carried out automatically. Hare Krishna.
And the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of devotional service. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
So Krishna says here, those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Want to be dear to Krishna? Remain on this path. Okay. So let's read the conclusion here. So Srila Prabhupada summarizes this chapter in his purport. In this chapter, from verse 2 through the end, the Supreme Lord has explained the process of transcendental service for approaching him. Such processes are very dear to the Lord, and he accepts a person engaged in them. The question is of who is better, one who is engaged in part of a personal Brahma, or one who is engaged in the personal service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That was Arjuna's question in the beginning of this chapter. But the Lord replied to him explicitly that there is no doubt that devotional service to personality of God is the best of all processes of spiritual realization. So Srila Vitananda Chakravarti Thakur conclude this chapter. This quality Krishna mentioned are born of bhakti, not of the mode of goodness. For they enable one to become dear to Krishna. Even if someone has just one of these qualities, he is dear to Krishna. Bhakti is so glorious that sadhaka simply desiring this quality are better than siddhas on other parts. So devotional service is wonderful, easy to perform, and grant all desired results. This is the message of the 12th chapter. Jnani prefers jnana yoga, which is compared to bitter fruit of the lim tree. Devotee prefer bhakti, which is like a sweet seedless grapes. Some individuals like lame fruits, another prefer grapes. Each will follow a path according to his own tastes. Hare Krishna. So that is the process of bhakti. Any comment, question, or contribution? We
Yes,
have a few minutes more to conclude.
Okay.
15
Hare
minutes
Krishna.
more. Jai.
Yes, yes. Through what you are just read, I think it must be in 18 to 19 that a devotee does not care about where you will sleep or something like that, because some things happen in Krishna consciousness, and I was not really aware of it, or I wonder myself. I ask some question. How is it like that? Because I'm astonished seeing a guru, a very high class devotee, go and sleep in some place where there are mosquitoes, less uncomfortable places. So, but it does not care. Now I understand the meaning by reading this verse. So it was something that surprised me a lot. A high qualified guru go to sleep in some places very uncomfortable. Now I understand why. That was my comment.
Thank you very much. Thank you for understanding now. Yes, the more we read Bhagavad Gita, the more our doubts become clear. Any more comments, contribution?
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
In some other verse, we read that we should not struggle a lot to earn money. But
yes,
I've noticed that people like money very much, and nowadays we don't have money, so you cannot get any value, or there are some needs you will not then be able to face. So by this declaration, I'm a little bit confused, because if you are not making, you are not struggling, the money, will not really come. That's what I think.
yeah. It's very simple, Prabhu. There are some devotees, they want to live a Brahmanical life. Okay? So if you are such a devotee, you want to live a Brahmanical life. What do I mean by Brahmanical life? Brahmanical life means you want to live a very simple life, with your wife. Both of you have agreed you want to live a very simple life. Whatever accommodation we get, we are okay. Whatever food we get, we're okay. We're going to have 1 or 2 kids. And we just live very simple. And whatever we'll be serving in the temple and whatever Krishna gave us, we'll be okay with that. So if such a devotee want to live that, then that is what is mentioned there. Okay. But it's not for those devotees who still want to live, who want to work and do normal work. That instruction is not for them, because Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions that a devotee should have money so that you will not think of money. Because when you don't have money, all what you think is money, money, money. Even when you are thinking of Krishna, you are thinking about money, how to make money from Krishna. But when you have money, you can easily think of Krishna without thinking about money, because the money is there. So that is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur say we should work so that we have money, so that we don't think of money. And we can give more time to thinking about Krishna. So as a Grihastha who is working, should have money so that you don't think about money. Because if you're a Grihastha, if you don't have money, you cannot think of Krishna. You'll be thinking about money. Okay?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we will end it here. This is the middle chapter of Bhagavad Gita as explained by Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary to Bhagavad Gita. This middle part of Bhagavad Gita is like, the Bhagavad Gita is like a jewel box, okay? So the middle chapter is like the ornament, the special jewelries or the ornament of the Bhagavad Gita, who is kept inside the Bhagavad Gita to lock. The first 6 chapter is the down of the Bhagavad Gita, the last one is the up. So like that. So this middle 6 is to the other 6, the first and the last 6 is to protect this middle 6, because this is very, very special. The middle 6 of Bhagavad Gita is the jewel of Bhagavad Gita, talking about Krishna, the supreme personality of God, and about devotional service to him. So most of other ones are just more of Gyan. But this middle 6 talk about Krishna in it, so much about the Bhagavan aspect of Krishna, the supremacy of Krishna, and the devotional service to Krishna, how to attain Krishna. So Krishna used the first 6 and the last 6 to protect this middle 6 from the unscrupulous people. So we should take notes now. After understanding this middle 6 of Bhagavad Gita, we should try as much as possible to remember some of the key verses that Krishna has given some promises on how we can attain him. Like one of them is 9:22. Krishna say, if you worship me with exclusive devotion, I will carry what you lack and I will preserve what you have. Krishna mentioned in 10 also that 10 that if you worship me with devotion, I will give you intelligence by which you can come to me. Many more verses like this, where Krishna mentioned about how we can come to him and how he will take care of us if we surrender unto him. So all these are given in the Krishna described about these opulences in the middle chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It describes about the universal form, how it pervades everything in the middle chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Describe about the devotional service and all these great, wonderful qualities we just finished reading in the middle section of Bhagavad Gita. So all these things is for us to be able to understand who Krishna is and how to attain Krishna, how to become dear to Krishna. So after studying this, we should be free from doubt that there's no any other thing that is more valuable and more, special in this world other than rendering pure devotional service to Krishna. Okay? Any comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Ananga Moini, yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, sorry, I want to ask this question. Well, not from this thing, though.
Please go ahead.
I know.
Don't be sorry, just ask.
All right, Prabhu. We're almost going to finish the Bhagavad Gita. And in the process of this Bhagavad Gita, one of the reasons also so we can also learn and be able to share with others, also teach from it. Lisa, I want to ask question. How do you get yourself so acquainted with the Bhagavad Gita? If you can give us some strategies on which we can learn and get ourselves so immersed in it that we can be able to also give it out to, as in to teach it, to absorb it.
So all this journey, Ananga Moini, thank you very much for your question. So all this journey we have been going through, you are not immersing yourself. Oh, Krishna.
It is sometimes when I even couple along to
How
was
else?
why it's trying to get my question out because I don't get it.
Wait. So how else do you want to immerse yourself in? So you want me to come and carry you now and put you inside the Bhagavad Gita now, so that you can start swimming inside the Bhagavad Gita?
Maybe you have a
how do you want to
strategy
immerse
how you get it. Yeah, Prabhu. Maybe you have a strategy how you understand. Not you putting me. You have a strategy of you reading and getting understanding.
No,
Maybe after the class,
see,
you understand.
no, it's like this. Let me tell you something. Let me talk too much and anger more anyway. Wait. See, there's no any other secret. You have to read the book again and again and again. There's no any other secret. You want to know a book? If you like the book, you read it again and again and again and again, as many times as you can. You want to read. If you really love the book, you have to read it again and again until when you read it again and again and again, naturally you start seeing some of the knowledge starts becoming part of you. Okay, so there's no any secret. The secret is that you have to hear again and again, read again and again. That is why when we ask you, give you the assignment to read before the class, nobody will read. And how do you want to immerse yourself? It's very difficult. Sometimes people just come to the class also just to be there. Okay, we are there, And after we finish, we just drop it and go and be doing other things. If you really want to immerse yourself in Bhagavad Gita, you have to read it again and again. Now me, I've been reading Bhagavad Gita more than 5 times now. Okay. I'm studying I'm very happy to absorb myself in studying it. The different chapters, there's some chapters I love. I'll go again, I will read those chapters again and again. It becomes more clearer to me. Then you can, every time again and memorize some of the verses you like there. And it becomes more and more, you dip yourself more and more in this, the river Ganges of Gita, So there's no any other secret. Nobody will open somebody's head and carry the book and put it inside. No, it's not possible. You cannot do that. The only way is to read it again and again. Okay? You have to read it again and again. See,
Bravo. Thank you very much.
You see, in Nigeria, when people want to read the exam, you cannot pass the exam if you don't read. You want to do exam. It doesn't somebody will pass the exam when no read.
No. No problem.
Except if you wait for expo. And sometimes if you are waiting for expo, some expo, if somebody go copy wrongly, now you're trouble. You don't get trouble with that. So you go just, like I remember one time, I remember when you are doing WAEC, sometimes you will say, if you really know the subject so well, and you don't want somebody to implicate you by copying you, you first of all write the wrong thing, so that the person will copy it. After he has copied the wrong, you now cancel and start writing the right thing. So in that way, it will not implicate you. So in that way, the person will not implicate, because there's some people, they will copy your name, copy your matric number. They are so good at copying. They will copy everything you write in your book. So to avoid those kind of people, you have to be very careful. So nobody will pass exam unless you study your book. So similarly, if you want to understand the Bhagavad Gita and really be able to use it for preaching, memorization verses again. Study those memorization verses. You know, now they are going, I'm very sure people are going to do another examination after finishing this or something like that. Prepare yourself for the exam, read again and study again. Anytime you get opportunity to read Bhagavad Gita, study again and again. There's many other alternatives for you to understand the book, but to study the book again and again. And as you are reading the book, you find some parts that interest you that you love to read more and more. Go and read them more and more. As we are reading them, as we are reading together now, you will see one particular verse. You like it. You want to read it more. Go and read it more and more. That is the only way.
All right, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your question also, for your sincere question, okay?
Hare Krishna.
Spiritual Prabhu, you raise your hand and hide it again. What happened?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Okay, I would just like to ask a quick question and then end it with some commentary or, okay. The question is in chapter 9, verse 4. So Krishna says, by my unmanifested form, the entire universe is pervaded. So, which form is it alluding to? Is it the universal form? That is my question.
Yeah.
Yes. And the universal form. Okay. Okay. So, the comment is that okay, the way you have conducted the lessons, though this has enabled me to get a lot of things, to really be immersed in this part of Bhagavad Gita. And so I would like to thank you for that. Yeah. So it isn't a rush. You went slowly for us to really understand it. So I thank you very much, Prabhuji, for that. Hare Krishna.
I appreciate your comment, Prabhu. Thank you very much. At least somebody said that we went through it, and no, because if you see, there are different ways of teaching this Bhakti Shastri. So many ways. Number one way, if you want to teach it, I can just come to the class, prepare my PowerPoint, just tell you this verse, just give general knowledge about whatever is there in that chapter. So I only study for myself. Okay, and just teach you whatever I want you to know in that particular chapter. And there's another part also where you just follow the lesson plan. There's some lesson plan where you want this, they want the student to know this one and this one. You just come and teach that and you go. But me, I've not done that. We go through, because I know when I've tried many times, I tell students to read before the class, they will not read. We say read this chapter, they will not read. When they come back, people will not read. They start reading inside the class. And that is why in the class, I'm taking the time, we read the verse and the purport. Then we explain. So that no matter what happens, somehow or the other, you are going through the whole entire Bhagavad Gita. That's why I'm doing like that. So thank you for appreciating that, because there are so many ways of doing it, actually. I can just make my presentation based on the syllabus, what verse they want you to learn, and we just study on that. But I'm not doing that. We take it one by one, verse, purport, so that somehow or the other, you can go through the Bhagavad Gita and you know that you have studied the Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Any other comments? Because we are going to close now.
Krishna Prabhu.
Nangamoni Mataji.
In this previous chapter, we read 11 about the universal form, where Krishna described all his opulency and how no eyes can see him. And you also mentioned one time that we cannot actually see him. That was like Krishna gave us his deities. How come did he give us his deity to worship in a way we can see him through the deity? How did he? come about that?
Yeah, because no, see, it's not that we cannot see Krishna. You can see Krishna. You have to be pure to see Krishna. Okay? Many devotees have seen him. Many pure devotees have seen him. He was here on this planet playing pastime 5,000 years ago. He walked on this planet, in India especially, perform different pastimes. When you go to India today, you can still see all those places where he performs his pastimes, his different activities, where he will eat with his friends in the afternoon, taking lunch, where they go for grazing on the field, in Mathura, where he was locked up, where they lock him up when he appear, and you go to Dwaraka. All these places, when you go to India, you will see all these pastime places of the Lord. He came 5,000 years ago. Okay, so he was here. It's not that you cannot see him. You can see him, but for you to see Krishna, you have to be pure. So, but we are not on that pure stage yet. That is why we need the deity form of Krishna, the material form in which we can relate with. Okay, that's why the pictures is there, the painting are there, the marble deities are there. These are the form we can relate with. And by serving Krishna in these various forms, picture, deity, marble, or brass, or whatever form of the material elements used to carve Krishna, we become gradually purified to be able to see that is true form. But now we are not pure to see that form. When we engage in devotional service, serving the deity, we become so purified, then he will reveal himself to us. So Krishna is here, we can see him in the deity form. But if we want him to be reciprocating with us, we want to really see the form of Krishna, where you want him to speak with you, dance with you, or another song. You need to become pure. Okay? Only the pure in heart shall see God. That is what the Bible said, isn't it?
Yes.
So when we become pure in heart, then we can be able to see Krishna. So it's already time. Our time is up. Thank you very much, all of you, for coming. So this is how we stop. When chapter 12 is already finished. So maybe they will get you another facilitator for boarding and free frame. So thank you very much, all of you, for always tolerating me and coming to listen and whatever. Vancha kapata rubiesha kripa sundu be bacha patita nam papa nevyo vaishna vebyo namaha. Prabhupada ki jai, Smavedha Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Pramanande, Hari Hari Bo.
Jai.
Jai.